Good morning, students. Welcome you all in virtual learning class of English class 7. Hope you are fine and healthy at your home. We met last week, you know, on the 25th, Thursday. And after that, today we are going to discuss regarding our chapter. But before that, I would like to tell you few things. Few things, not we can say, but the things we are enjoying. It means though we are at home, but we are celebrating different days. Am I right? For example, Yoga Day we celebrated. Hope you enjoyed it a lot. Anyways, so in the last session, we have seen part 1 of Gift of Chapel. Right? So actually, it already have done before 3 to 4 days. Hope you have all gone through the lesson, you read it already, but though you have read it, we are going to have a quick recap of part 1. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to summarize part 1. Here we go. Okay, so where we started from the Mridu, which is the main character. Mridu goes to Rukumani's house, right? Mridu is a young girl living with her grandmother, and who were there? Tapi and grandfather Tatha in Chennai. Mridu goes along with Tapi to her aunt Rukumani's place. There she meets her cousins Lali, Ravi, and Meena. Everyone at Rukumani's house was glad to see Mridu, and there was a thick berry bush in their backyard, and Ravi took her beside that. And there was a small kitten inside a torn football. The small creature was busy drinking milk that was kept inside a half shell of coconut. That was their secret actually. Then Meena informed Mrudu that they have found the kitten outside their house. So in the morning of the day, but they must keep it as a secret. Otherwise, grandmother will leave their house immediately. Ravi was upset. Why he was upset? What was his point of view? He was upset that they were being taught to be kind towards animals. They were means people, elders. But when he was trying to do so, elders were screaming at them and calling the kitten a dirty creature. His grandmother was suspicious while he was taking out milk for the kitten from kitchen, right? So somehow he is able to bring that milk for kitten. He had to drink more than half of the milk to make her believe that it was for Ravi only. And after that, Ravi gave some information about kitten. So he told Mridu that they have named the kitten as Mahendran. Mridu loved the name because it sounded real and like those cute ones to keep for the kittens. And Ravi further added that its complete name was Mahendra Verma Pallava Punai, and in short you can call MP Punai. So he informed her he could make it from its fur, and it was a fine breed cat actually, a close relative of Lan family, like the one that Pallava kings used in their emblem. And to this Mridyu giggled, which instigated Ravi to prove his knowledge about his history. On his school trip Mahabalipuram, he had seen statue of a lion, and he firmly believes that it was the ancestor of that kitten only. And he proudly announced that his small kitten is the descendant of Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. So he reminded Mridyu of cats being worshipped in ancient Egypt. He believed it to be a descendant of cat goddesses, that is Bastet. Okay, so this was the information regarding kitten who gave Ravi the creech noise. So something was going on over there. What was that? Oh, Ravi was busy in making all proud announcements about his kitten when weird sound creech came from the window. Now what happened over there? Mridyu was shocked while Mahendran was frightened. Mahendran jumped with fear on a tray or red chilies kept under the sun for drying. With the creaking noise continue on the background, Mridyu inquired what it was. They didn't understand. Mridyu didn't understand. Oh, what was that noise? So Ravi informed her that it was Lali learning to play the violin. Mridyu peeped from the window and she found Lali was holding the violin in an awkward position, sitting a bit away from her music teacher who had his back towards the window. Okay, so all that about the part 1. Fine. So in your notebook, what you have to do? Do one thing. You have to summarize part 1. Okay, which word meanings I gave no in the previous video. From that you have to copy down that meanings, and after that which I am going to give you for the part 2, that you have to continue. Okay, and after that you have to write down, leave few lines, okay, for part 3, and after that you have to start summary of part 1. Okay, that will be your homework, don't forget. And after part 1, part 2 also summary you have to write in your own words. Don't take help of any other source. You can take textbook, read it carefully, at least try. And I know that students, you are able to do that. I know very well. Okay, you are very smart, you are very intelligent, you are able to solve, you are able to summarize part 1 and part 2 in your own words. Okay, fine. So now we are going to start part 2. Now what was the situation, all that things we are going to learn. Who is the author here? Vasanta Surya. Correct. Let's start. At first, here we go for the word meanings. These are the word meanings. While explanation, I am going to explain it. But for your record, you can take a screenshot of that. Okay? Let's see. Part 2. Now, I will read out at first for you. Mridyu crept up to the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring, her elbow jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure of the master. He had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and an old fashioned tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vesty edge, and he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe. Yes. Now, one thing you are supposed to note down. Here, a character sketch is given of music master. You know, in the interaction session, I told you paper pattern. In that, I told you in the last section, in the section C, there are type of question that is character sketch. So you are supposed to elaborate that particular given character in your own words. So these clues, these words, these information can help you to elaborate the character sketch of music master. So note down all the things. Note down keywords or the word meanings. Fine. So Lali was over there and sitting a little distance away. Music master and Lali was over there. And Lali was learning to play violin, and she was looking little bit in an awkward position by holding that violin and that bowstring as well. Bowstring, you know very well, bow, जो धनुष होता है, like that bowstring, and that bow is there, that arrow is there. In the picture also you can find out very easily from the textbook. So Lali was little bit in an awkward position playing the violin, her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration, and yes, she was completely concentrated on her work. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure of the music master. Yes, bony figure. The music master was little bit thin, and he had mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and an old fashioned tuft. Yes, music master having tuft. Tuft means like a pony, है ना, छोटी जैसे होती है, like that tuft he was having. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck. Gold chain, wearing a gold chain, and diamond ring glittered on his hand. Also, diamond ring. And as it glided up and down the stem of the violin, so that diamond ring was very much shining when they were playing. He was playing violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold border vesti. Vesti means dhoti. So in Tamil, it called vesti. Okay. So he was meeting time on the floor with scrawny big toe. So he was when he was playing the violin at that time, he was completely beating his toe on the floor. Okay. Next, he played a few notes. Lali stumbled behind him on her violin. Okay, stumbled means to falter, means somehow she was trying to do that. अडखळत है ना, ती ट्राय करत होती. So she was trying to play that violin after the music master. which look quite helpless. Okay, actually, um, he played few notes. Notes means not here written notes, here musical notes. Okay, you know very well musical notes sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. All that are musical notes. Alankar are there. So in that violin also they were playing musical notes, and Lali also was trying her best, but which looked quite helpless. Actually, what happened? She was trying her best, but not in a proper way. Let's see. Yeah. And she was looking helpless and unhappy in her hands. I think she was not comfortable with that. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of melody. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along, as Ravi said. Oh, actually, here Ravi wants to tease Lali, right? What Ravi was telling. Oh, what a difference between music master's violin and Lali's violin. How smoothly music master playing violin and how Lali. It was like a wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails. Na? Previously also they gave example of railway only, that rails, how that they are fit in that particular rails, that wheels, trains wheels. Like that music masters, all the musical notes are fit over there. But Lali can't do. Mridyu stared at a huge bearing and moving effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music. Okay, so Mridu was completely observing how they were playing the violin. Squawk! There was a Lali dueling again. Oh, she was now little bit shocked. What happened? She heard something. Amma came a well from the gate. Amma! Oh! Now, what happened? They heard one noise. Amma came a wail from the gate. Wail means um, to cry or to shout loudly. Someone was shouting loudly, Amma, Amma. And Ravi, send that beggar away, cries his mother from the back veranda. Veranda, porch, we can say, corridor. Okay, where she was chatting. Ravi's mother was chatting with whom? Let's see. With Tapi. He has been coming here every day for the past week. And it's time he found another house to bake from. Pati explained to Tapi. They were chatting over there from last week that beggar is coming to our house. Now we are fed up of that all that things. Now Mridyu and Meena followed Ravi out, and Ravi went over there to convey that message, mother's message to that beggar. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. Yes, he was little bit tired. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze while he waited for the arms to appear. Go away, said Ravi sternly. Okay, my Pati says it's time you found another house to bake from. Oh, now what happened? Ravi conveyed that particular message, but he was little bit in an awkward position to convey that message. So sternly he conveyed that message, means in disciplined manner, politely he said to that particular beggar that my Pati said that it's time you to found another house to bake. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. He was staring, he was looking one by one to the children. The ladies of this house, he said at last in a voice choked with feeling, are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. He raised his voice. Now, Beggar was surprised. Actually, from last whole week, I'm coming over there. Beggar said that I'm coming over here for begging, and who were the people? That lady is very, very kind to me. She is helping me, and how she can tell like that? I can't believe. And he raised his voice. So he said, Amma, Amma, oh! Sad his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. Feeble means faint. Very means his voice sounds very sad. He was very sad. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth, with its few remaining teeth stained brown with brittle chewing. Now he was thinking, oh, now what to do? I don't have any another house over here. So, how should I bake from any another house? Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukumani. And he's not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar. Yes, already Ravi told that politely. Now again, one more time, Ravi can't. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear. There under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and sighed. Actually, by hearing all that things by Ravi's mother, he was thinking and he was very in a sad mood. I will go, he said wearily. He was already fed up. Only let me have a rest here under this neem tree. The sun is so hot. The tar has melted on the road. Yes, what he told. Okay, I will go. Don't worry, I will go. But only let me have a rest here. For some time, let me rest under this neem tree. The sun is so hot and the tar has melted on the road. Tar, in Marathi we can say जे डांबर असतं ना रस्त्यावर, ते डांबर ते उन्हामुळे काय होतं, मेल्ट होतं. So he told that let me take a rest for few time. My feet are already, next slide, blistered. Now blistered means boils or bubbles on the skin from burns or rubbing. ओके. जे फोड येतात ना आपल्या पायाला, आपण जास्त पाण्यामध्ये राहिलो, उन्हात राहिलो, तर त्यामुळे फोड येतात, ते फोड, तसे ते फोड त्या बेगरला आले होते. So he stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. He shone all that blistered. त्याने सगळे फोड त्यांना दाखवले. I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals. Bridu whispered to Meena and Ravi. Have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? Bridu suggested that. Do you have any pair of old chappals or pair of um, chappals can give that beggar? Ravi said, "Mm, I don't know. Mine are too small to fit his feet, or I would have given them to him. And his feet were larger than Mridyu's and Mina's." The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming in the afternoon heat. He needs something on his feet, Meena said, her big eyes filling. It's not fair. Meena said, oh really, it will not good, it will not fair to send him as it is. And he needs something on his feet. Something we have to give to him. Next. Shh, Ravi said. I'm thinking about it. Rippering, it's not fair. It's not fair. Isn't going to help. In 2 minutes, he will be frying his feet on that road. What he needs is a pair of chappal. So where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. He pushed Mridyu and Meena into the house. Okay, so they started to search. Just as she stepped into the veranda, means whatever the porch over there, veranda, Mridyu's eyes fell on that odd looking chappals she had noticed when she arrived. है ना? In the first part we have seen when she have take out that her chappals over there, that time he noticed that, so she remembered all that things. Ravi, she whispered to him, whose are those? Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby looking but sturdy old sleepers. He beamed and nodded. These are just right size, he said, picking them up. Bridyu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. Okay, now whatever chappals they found, they picked it up and went to the garden. Let's see what happened. Oh, here, said Ravi to the beggar, dropping the slippers in front of the old man. Wear this and don't come back. The beggar stared at the sleeper, hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulders, pushed his feet into them, and left muttering a blessings to the children. In a minute, he had vanished around the corner of the street. Oh, and when he got the sleepers, suddenly he vanished. Suddenly he disappeared from the road. And he gave blessings to the children. Now what happened? Now what is going to happen? Can you imagine? Can you tell whose that sleepers were? Definitely, if you have read the lesson, definitely you can tell the answer. But now I'm not going to tell you. Let's see. The music master came out of the house and took an unappreciative look at the three of them. sitting quietly under the tree, playing marbles. Then he searched for his chappals in the veranda where he had put them. Now, music master came. He was searching his chappals. Lali, he called. After a few moments, she hurried up to him. Have you seen my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here, he asked to Lali. Ravi, Mridu, and Meena silently watched Lali and the music master searched every corner of the veranda. He scurried around, looking over the railing and crouching near the flower pots to look between them. Oh, what to do now? Continuously he was searching his sleepers. Oh, and already what things happened, he don't know about that incident. Now, what he said, brand new they were. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them, he went on saying. That was brand new. And from Mount Road, I went over there to buy them. They cost a whole month's fee. Do you know? So, what music master was telling? Oh, that the whole month's fee, which Lally was paying to that amount that sleepers were. मीन्स जे लाली त्यांना क्लास फीज देत होती तेवढ्या अमाऊंटची ती स्लीपर्स होत्या. डू यू नो? He said, music master. So Lali went in to tell her mother. Yes, Lali went to tell Rukumani. Rukumani appeared and looking harassed with Pati following her. They came over there. Now, where could they be? It's really quite upsetting to think someone might have stolen them. So many vendors come to the door, worried Pati. So, Pati said, oh, where it could be? Na? Where we should search it. It's very difficult actually to search that sleepers. So many vendors come to the door, worried Pati. Vendor means hawkers, we can say. That hawkers or the salespersons, we can say. So many are coming over there. So how we can guess where it will be? Rukumani caught sight of Ravi, Bridhu, and Meena sitting under the tree. Have you children? She began. Oh, now Ravi, Bridhu, and Meena know about all the situation, and Rukumani is going to ask three of them. Now they were very frightened. Now what should we answer? Because only the thing what happened they know about that, right? But now these are the elders. What we can answer? If suppose we will tell them actual thing, they will scold us. Now what to do? Oh, they were in a very confused situation and they were very uh, quiet over there under the neem tree. They were sitting over there only. Okay, so up to here in the part 2 we have seen how the things went on. Yes, now here we are going to stop our chapter, and in the next third part we are going to check what happened. We are going to learn what will be the situation over there, what Rukkumani is going to do actually, whether they are going to agree or not, whether they are going to confess their guilt or not. Okay, in the next part we are going to do. But before that, as I said earlier, what you have to do? You have to write down word meanings and summary of part 1 and part 2. Part 2 means up to here where we stopped today. Right? Okay. I hope you enjoyed this session, students, and try to read it and write in a good handwriting whatever word meanings or the summary you are going to write. So side by side your writing skill will also improve. Okay, so hope you understood that, and read next part as well, so you are able to um, learn next part quickly, right? Okay, so we are going to stop here. So we will meet in the next session. Till then, goodbye, students. Have a good day. Bye bye.